There are 3 things that you can say to your kid when they ask you for something, and unfortunately your answer is no. We've all been there. It's not fun to say no. We don't all even want to say no lots of times. We want to be the cool parent. We want to be the parent that they understand and are happy with. We want to be able to give them everything that they want, but sometimes the answer has to be no. So here are 3 things that you can say to your kid to start an effective communication with them when unfortunately your answer is no for whatever it is that they want. I'm going to start by using a relevant example. It was relevant to me. It was relevant to a lot of people I talked to recently, and I'm sure other people can relate to it as well. The Apple Watch. Mom, my friend got an Apple Watch. Can I have one? Dad, I want an Apple Watch. When can I have one? If you're lucky, those questions come with pleases in them, but maybe not always. This is one that I think a lot of parents can relate to right now. Apple Watches are everywhere, and they are a great alternative to a cell phone if you feel like your kid isn't ready for a cell phone or you're just against that whole idea. But it can also give them access to you, safety, messages, all these things. And then of course on an Apple Watch, you don't have social media, which is a big one for a lot of parents, and I'm definitely on that train as well. No social media for my 8 and 10-year-old. When you're talking to your kids and your answer has to be no, there are 3 things that I believe that you should tell them that will make you have an effective communication with them, as opposed to them just seeing you as the parent that always says no, or that isn't being fair, or that isn't giving them what they want just because. So number 1 is your answer. Don't leave them hanging. Be mindful of the way that you say it. So if your answer is no, there's a way to say it and there's a way not to say it. Avoid sarcasm and cruelty. That's not going to get you anywhere, and it's just going to make you feel like crap afterwards. Such as, are you nuts? Or, yeah, right. Or, over my dead body. Or, no, how could you ask me that? These are not great ways to say no. The better way to say no is to simply say no, because, and this leads me to my second point. Number 2, an explanation. Give them an explanation. Let them know where you are coming from. Don't simply state a big fat no without the why. Why is it a no? And this is a good practice for you too. Don't just say no because you're used to saying no, or because in your head it's already a no, or you're annoyed in that moment. Force yourself to really think about, why is it a no, and should it be a no? So in this case, let's just say we're still talking about the Apple Watch. No, because there are a countless number of studies that show that giving a kid access to a digital device that they have on them at all times can be quite damaging to their mental health, to their focus at school, to their ability to be creative, to their willingness to do new things in life, to excel in school and on tests, and for their levels of focus and just interactivity throughout the day with the world around them. There are countless number of studies that show that giving your child access to a device too soon is not always a good thing. I get the other side of this, which is the safety factor, and I want my kid to be able to get a hold of me, and I want to make sure my kid is safe. I want to know where my kid is. We can now track them. So I get all of that, but you have to feel like the timing is right. So I know for a lot of us parents, it's not no forever, but it is no for right now. It needs to make sense. Is your child constantly out of the house doing things with friends or at sports or at other places where you need to know where they are? If you're at that level, then yes, maybe it is time. Maybe your answer to this question will be yes. But you can also tell your kid, play the logical card. If they're not already out with friends and doing all these things outside of the house where you need to keep track of them and know where they are, then does it really make sense for them to have an Apple Watch? And are you just considering an Apple Watch because everyone else is getting one? You don't need to fall into that trap. It has to make sense for you, your kid, and your family. Now, this can go for absolutely anything. It can go for a new toy. It can go for the brand name clothing. It can go for anything, absolutely anything. And if you are giving an explanation on why, again, you're thinking about why for yourself, and you're also giving your child an explanation so they know you're not just saying no just because. Number 3, I'm gonna go into number 3 now. So you've given your answer and you've given your explanation. Number 3, a question. Ask them a question. Oftentimes, asking a question is the most effective form of communication because it makes the other person think about their words or actions. And in this case, whatever it is that your child is asking for, you can turn everything back around on them to get their take on it. What do you think of my answer? How does that sound to you? Do you think that's fair? When do you think you should get whatever it is that they want? You're prompting your kid to also reflect in this moment. You're prompting them to think about this logically because you're giving them the opportunity. A lot of you might be thinking, well, they're just going to tell me now, I want it now and I deserve it now, because I don't think that's always going to happen that way. When you give your child a serious and reflective question, chances are they're going to try to impress you with their answer. And you might be surprised what they have to say, because when they think introspectively and consider this for a moment and also realize that my parent has given me an answer, they've given me an explanation, and now they're asking me what I think, how do I do this wisely? How can I give them the answer that maybe they're not expecting or maybe that they're looking for, but we can come to a solution together? So by asking this question at the end, you also show your kid that you care. You care about their opinion. You care about how they feel about what you just said. And you're giving them an opportunity to express their opinion, which makes them feel very involved and important. So the next time your kid asks you for something and you're not ready to say yes to that thing, or the answer must be a no, think about these 3 things to have an effective piece of communication with them. So number 1, give them your answer and give it straight. Number 2, give them an explanation, and one that is thorough and detailed and that they can understand. And number 3, ask them a question. Ask them for their opinion. See what they think about it. And you will see that if you use these 3 pieces in your communications with your kids, they will be much more meaningful and everyone will be more satisfied at the end. If you like this video, I want to invite you to another video of mine right here on the end screen. Be sure to click it once you get there. And it's all about why we're so hard on ourselves, why that is, and to understand it, and then how to conquer it. So I invite you to watch that video, and I'll see you there.